Well, hey neighbors, welcome to the Shed Shop and part 2 of this edition of How To. We are going to continue our impulse hose replacement on neighbor Eric's Stihl 028. This segment or series just goes to show you how oftentimes in mechanics of any type that a 30-minute job can turn into a 3 or 4 hour job just because sometimes little bitty things can become extensively difficult. So let's dive in and continue this job as we continue to reassemble our saw. Eric bought this saw from me 2 years ago with another 028, and so we are just trying to keep it in service for him, and hopefully everything will go well and Eric can have his saw back soon. I've got a very special saw coming up soon for him, so stay tuned, neighbors. I do encourage you, if you have not watched part 1 yet, go ahead and click the info card right above, and that will allow you to see part 1 before you watch part 2 at the end of part 1. And now we're just putting it back together because, as you saw, we finally got the impulse hose on with a little bit of wrestling. And so now, you just want to see, that should be a little bit, there we go. It looked like it was a little far off naturally. Now we're going to put these back together, but like I said, I do recommend some blue Loctite on these areas. I have used red if it's the only thing I have. I mean, it's meant to be permanent, but if you only use a little bit, it works about the same as the blue. Same holding strength. You just don't want to coat the screw like you would with the blue or red in a situation that is. I use red in areas that I know I could be taken apart again, like when I mount certain cylinders. I use red. I've used red all the way around, recoil and everything. I just know the way to apply it to where it's not gonna strip my stuff out when I go to take it off. So this one we're just going to kind of get it so that we're not shimmying around nice and perfectly where it wants to be. And we'll go ahead and screw that down. And it's just basically to put it back together, obviously, is the reverse of how we took it apart. Sorry, my hand's hurting me. This isn't but a 1/8 of an inch max that I've got to move this to get it nice and centered, but just that 1/8 of an inch. I didn't want my screw to go in crooked, and it was really hard. It was really hard to hold it there like that with my bad hands, but we got it done. Okay, nice and snug, goot and snug. We don't want to go goot and tight. We'll break it, strip it out. It is going into plastic. So then we'll go over here, get this other AV screw on real quick. That way our tank's not flopping around loose from our chassis. There we are. Again, just a tiny little bit. Had to move it. Well, I thought it was a tiny bit. And I didn't get the Loctite, so I guess that's good that it wasn't lined up. Ah. Well, I guess I'm going to have to open my other tube of blue. It seems, but I think I'll have enough. Don't need a crap ton on this application. That must be my shithead uncle trying to justify or excuse opening a brand new gallon of milk when there's 1/10 of a gallon left in the other one. Enough for a bowl of cereal. Anyways, god damn it. Come on now, seriously. Why is that not lined up? I should be perfectly lined up. That's odd. Guess my boot is just that snug against the saw that it didn't want to move. This AV, I said boot, but this AV mount. Yeah, I was saying that must be my uncle. He's just got excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse for his bad character. And he keeps trying to marksplain himself away. You know how women will say you're mansplaining? Well, my uncle marksplains. he'll say to me a couple. To me, a couple means, you know, a little bit, here and a little bit. It means like when I'm done watching this show. So it could be 10 minutes into an hour and 30-minute movie. And so hearing a couple to my uncle means an hour and 20 minutes. Okay? He is literally, you guys, literally, a couple and a few minutes, he has literally turned that into 8 and 10 hours before. I don't know. I mean, it still happens from time to time that he'll do that. But the first year and a half that I was here, out of the 2 years and 4 months I've been here, my uncle did the same stuff. Now, here we need to be, I might have dilly-dallied and messed up, because there's, okay, no, they're not. I was deceived by the thread lock. Anyways, yeah, it's amazing. I love my uncle again, but he just has some really, really, really bad character. Lying and stealing to me is just below pedophilia. It's worse than murder, in my opinion, to be honest, because the damage that it causes is oftentimes irreversible. When you tell lies that deep and that frequently, it leads to other problems. And it's just, especially when my uncle knows me well enough by now to know I'm the type of person, you guys, that I'd rather you tell me the truth, no matter how bad it is, than lie to me. Because if you lie to me, I'm going to find out the truth almost every time. And when I do, it's so much worse. And not only that, when you tell a lie to somebody that has a very, very, very good natural instinct to be a human lie detector, and also has studied all the various involuntary tics, unless you've been specifically trained or know about these tics and have practiced yourself, even then, the tics can still happen. But there are involuntary body movements that have been shown in almost all human beings to be able to pick up on when somebody is being dishonest or untruthful. And so my uncle, it's flabbergasting, because you can catch him in a lie very quickly, and then he'll tell another lie, and then you can give him an hour of evidences sometimes. Like last night, I went for over an hour. Okay, next, I'm just looking, you guys, I don't want to miss nothing. I'm going to do this in the right order. I think next I'm going to go ahead and put my carburetor and stuff back on. So, just these two pieces we took out first. You've got the one for the inside of the boot. Now, on some of the saws, like again, this 1127 I showed you a little earlier, and even some of the, boy, what is it, I think the 024, these are kind of curved right here. So they will have a notch, like a dent in here and a dent in here, and that is for where it sits. Your carburetor studs will line up with those bends in your otherwise perfect circle here. So put that one on the internal. This one doesn't have any particular way to face. It's just completely, wait, no, you know what? I think I had discovered, no, because this is a new OEM one, so I thought for just one sec that one lip was rounded, but it's not. So that will go on next. And then we should be able to go ahead and take our carburetor. Okay, make sure we face that all the right way. We're going to spray it off a little bit with air real quick. Or not, because my uncle did not freaking turn the air compressor back on after he turned it off. Or after I turned it off and informed him to turn it back on when he comes out here to do his eBay stuff each morning, which he hasn't been doing that either. Anyways, I was looking for my little hand blower, but we'll grab some brake parts cleaner or something here instead. The car parts cleaner will work. More expensive. Everybody says it's the same thing as brake parts cleaner, but it's not. It's very similar, but they are not identical. They have a different chemical makeup. Okay, so there's that. And then, again, I really like this seal off. And so I will oftentimes do this on these fittings as well. We'll just take some seal off. And most important, don't plug your hole up. You don't want to plug the hole, okay? That one's going to be for our impulse. That's going to be for our fuel line. So we're just going to put it on the back here, okay? And that will just kind of help that impulse hose seal to this. And then that prevents those leaks you get from it stretching over time with the vibration of the saw. It will actually give your impulse hose a longer life. And for your fuel line, same thing. But this also, as they stretch, you get a fuel leak. So this one's a lot worse than getting a tiny bit of air sucking through there. Still not good. Will blow up your saw in the long run potentially because of a lean condition. But you do that, and that's just like buying insurance, you guys. Like very cheap insurance. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it's only like $6 or $7 for that seal off, at least where I live in the south here. And it lasts me quite some time. And if you've been on this channel, you know I work on a lot of damn saws and other two-stroke equipment. So we just want to line our impulse hose up there, and it's going to be a good push to get it onto that impulse hose. Don't fret. Make sure everything else is lined up, and if it is, you push. Okay, just watch your wires don't get caught back here, which was what I was trying to make sure of. I do think my wires are safe and secured. And then we can go ahead and put our fuel line back on. Okay, like so. Want to make sure that's all the way up on our nipple as far as it can go, so that all 3 barbs grab. We're good to go there. Now we want to put our throttle linkage back on. Okay, so just lift that up and kind of work it over on top of the lever here. And then you can pull your trigger a little bit if you need to get things jarred around a little bit. That's not working out for me. You got to get just that right angle there. Are you really not going to go on either? Okay, well, bear with me here. It should slide right on. There we go. Just had a slight twist to it. And before my Loctite gets too heavy, I got to bolt that down and everything, but I forgot I already Loctited my handle screws, so I don't want to waste that Loctite. So I'm going to put the top or the wrap handle on real quick. I don't know why I keep wanting to call this a top handle. It most certainly is not. It's an entirely different style of chainsaw. Okay, so let's go ahead and get a couple started here. Like I said, these things can be, and I see all this dirt on this handle, but I done got myself all set up and situated, so don't think it's going to hurt anything if I get a tiny bit of dirt into my thread lock. Hell, it might help hold it on. No, it really probably would act as a stronger but more gritty bonding agent. Might turn it into cement or something, who knows. Okay. Ow. Oh, I gotta rest my elbow there. Oh my goodness. Go ahead and get the bottom one started here. And we're almost done, you guys. Almost done. Okay. If anybody has stuck through this far, aside from my loyals. Speaking of, there's a couple of you. Yeah, there's a couple of you. I've not heard back from you guys. I'm starting to get a little worried about y'all's. I'm going to have to start blowing up phones. You know, a couple of my loyals, they're like me. They have good days and bad days, and so if it takes them 3 or 4 days to get back to you about a message that's not important, it's usually because they don't feel good. They're in pain in bed, or they're feeling, you know, some kind of emotional pain, depression, anxiety, and so they're not talking to nobody, you know, being an introvert, isolating. So, but I love that I have, you know, that kind of personal relationship with some of you guys. I really enjoy it. I don't know how many YouTubers give out their personal phone numbers and emails and everything that I do. And no matter how many people continue to tell me that that's unsafe and I shouldn't do that, well, guess what? If somebody wants to come shoot up my filthy, moldy, dilapidated trailer in the middle of nowhere because they saw something on my YouTube channel, well, so be it. If they want to stalk me, let them stalk me. Ain't gonna bother me. They're stalking me. Unless I find out they're stalking me, I'm not going to know, so why would I care? Besides, I already got a stalker. Her name's Jenny. She just unfortunately can only stalk me through social media because she lives in Australia. She's my future wife. I said future ex-wife, but, well, shit. Something Jenny said a little while back. I said, well, damn, I guess I'm not going to have to joke around. I'm going to really have to marry this girl. Okay, so now that we got our top handle on, make sure your switch is in the off position, because if it's down here with these 028s, oh, and that's right, I need to fix that too. I noticed his switch was acting funny. These 028 switches they're just prone for problems, and these components, you can't buy them OEM anymore unless you pay outrageously on eBay. So, but if you have this all the way down, this choke lever here, okay, will get messed up with the one that it's supposed to move on your air filter, which, damn, Eric, your air filter, oh, okay, it's working. So you just want to be sure that you don't leave this down, because then you're going to have troubles and you're going to end up having to go backwards if you don't catch it before. Oh, hell, you know what? See, like that, I forgot my 8mm carb nuts here. So we will go ahead and put those on before our air filter, like we're supposed to. I gotta ask Eric if he wants me to replace the plug in this. It doesn't look bad, but based on its color, where is it? I'll show you guys the color and the condition. Well, hell, I know this is not it. This came from a different saw, and his definitely did not look like that, because that is lean. Damn it, Eric, there it is. Okay, so you see how he's got a nice brown, a nice light brown color there. It's brown here with a little bit of black. That is actually ideally what you want your two-stroke spark plug to look like. When you see it starting to turn gray or white, or it just looks super dry and is a lighter color, that means your saw is running too lean most of the time, which means it's getting too much air and not enough fuel. It means the fuel to air ratio is off, and it's off in the aspect of too much air or not enough fuel. If it is all really black, like this is black and gooped up, you see how that's all gooped up in there? Okay, and on top of that, it's black. That means your saw has been running too rich. Now, slightly too rich, most guys will tell you is not a bad thing. I am in that fan club. I run my saws a little bit rich. Now, I run them rich by going just slightly over 50-1 with my oil. And I know plenty of guys that do that. And I know also plenty of guys that run it slightly rich by turning their high RPM down. I like to keep my RPMs, but at the same time make sure my saw is lubricated. And so for me, what works, that might not be the right one. For me, what works is just adding a little bit extra oil to my 50-1. And not much, like we're not going up to 60-1. I mean, I'm literally talking, it might be 52-1. And that works for me. It has ever since I picked up my first chainsaw. Ever since I understood what caused the chainsaw to blow up, more often than not, air leaks or straight gas in it, or mixing your fuel. Yeah, is this damn stud. Eric, why are all these little tiny issues going on with your saw? There we go. Now, again, you guys, these carburetor bolts, you don't want them super tight. I've got that really low, and that's as tight as I'd go with those, because you don't want to squish that rubber and wear it out, you know, that intake boot. When you've got something sealing against soft, pliable rubber, you don't usually, if it's a metal surface going to it, you don't usually have to wrench the shit out of that, no matter the application. You just want to snug it up. That's something I had to learn with freaking bolts and screws, is that you don't want everything as tight as you can get it. I broke a lot of bolts and screws on cars and stuff. You know what I forgot to do? No, that will be with our top cover. Okay. On cars and stuff from over tightening. Okay. Now, go ahead and put our air filter on. Okay. Some of the 028s have a different setup here. They have a twist knob instead of the screw on. And so it would have one of these setups, but it's got a little bar going through it. And then your knob just twists onto it. Most of the 028s have this setup, but you can't find OEM air filters anymore. Well, I don't know if they made those obsolete, but I do know when I found out all those other parts for the 028 were obsolete, that to get the entire air filter with the setup, chute, and everything as one piece, it was like $86, they told me. I said, you gotta be out of your goddamn fucking mind. Oh, we're definitely not getting monetized now. I just want to make sure this sat flush and didn't go crooked. So I'm just looking to make sure it is evenly against my carburetor body. Now we can go ahead. We should be able to go ahead and put our top cover back on. Remember, it's a lot easier to do this without your spark plug in the saw. Okay, your spark plug wire. There's a little groove in your top cover right there. Line those two holes up for your chassis. This is not always the same. Oh, we're going to have to do something about his jacket there. I wished I'd have noticed that earlier, because I would have went to the hardware store and picked up more ends. I wonder if I have an end, because typically I like to heat shrink that. I don't like to just put tape over it. That can ground out against this metal here and cause this saw not to run right. We don't want that, so we'll have to fix that. Okay, but that will go. I'm going to leave it out for now. That will go there. And again, I would recommend Loctite, blue Loctite, and then just put your T27 bolt and tighten it down all the way. Okay. And then after that, you can go ahead and put your spark plug in and plug it up. And then you should be ready to test your saw and see if it fires and runs good again, which I'm fairly certain this one will. And actually, you know what, you guys? It ain't that much to take it back off. You don't even really need the top cover on. If anybody has stuck around, I'll give you the courtesy of seeing if our saw is going to fire up now. And if so, if it's going to idle and sound like it's decent enough to, trying to remember, because some of these screws are thinner than the standard common ones. I don't think this is one of them, but okay. Make sure it's running decent enough to where we feel like if we put a bar and chain on it, that it will run good and cut decent. Okay, there we are. Nope, you know what? See, something doesn't seem right there. This is designed to go straight through back here, but it just don't, it didn't seat down enough, and it shouldn't make a difference. I don't want to over tighten it though, so maybe we've got a couple extra threads here somehow. No, I don't see any. Well, hell, I need to leave the top cover off. No, I don't. I was trying to make it easier. I do want to give this satisfaction to anybody that has stuck around to the end to see if the saw is going to run here. This goes under your top cover so that it's touching your chassis, obviously. I would often think that's common sense, but you guys got to remember, not everybody knows certain things that others might naturally know because of how they grew up or what they were taught or where they've gone to school or whatever. You know, some people wouldn't know that that wire has to touch metal in order for it to do its job. I mean, what if we've got a 14-year-old young lady? See, look, our wire's damaged there too. Damn it. At that point, I'm just gonna have this full wire here. That this wire harness, I have like 15 of those. I might go ahead and cut that down because I can get 2 out of that. The length I need for saws like this. We'll see. I gotta see what ends I have still. There we are. Go ahead and snug this other one in too. That way it's not rattling around on me. Okay. There's that. Let's throw our spark plug in. I mean, for $6, you know, if I'm already spending the little bit that he has to spend on this saw, because his bill's pretty low, with his half off, it's really low. I'd probably spend it on a new plug, but who knows? He hasn't put that many hours on the saw. Don't do this, you guys, please. Don't ever. I know you see me using impact everywhere on a saw, but this is the worst place to use one, especially to tighten. If you're not careful, you will strip it out, and then you've ruined your cylinder. Unless you know how to helicoil well, and those don't always work. Okay, so I do believe we still have fuel in this. We do. So let's see if she's going to fire up. I want to check where our carburetor's set at real quick. So, quarter. Oh, wow. It is, let's see, 3/8 out. About 3/8. And the hot end, quarter, half, 3/4, 1 quarter, wow, half, 3/4, wow, 2. The yikes, that's a lot, you guys, for this saw. Honestly, I think we're not. Yeah, see, I did that, and as soon as I closed this jet off, it was freaking, that's weird, his tank vent started spewing gas. That's not gonna be good. Now his tank vent ain't gonna work right, I don't think. Let's see, let me get back to where I'm at. Let's see, half and 1. I think should be okay for now. These 028s, and they tend to flood real easy when I do 1 1/4, more often than not. But I want to do, oh wait a minute, maybe my screwdriver got stuck earlier. Wow, now I don't have, that was at least 2 turns, you guys. I'm gonna have to go back on the camera and see how many that was. I think it just got stuck initially. It wasn't 3/8. So, quarter, half, 3/4, 1. And I might have to either wait or change this tank vent because it filled up with fuel when I had the saw on its side. And if it's still got fuel in it, that means obviously, what is going on here? That means obviously it's not going to allow air to pass through in the way that it's supposed to. Okay, so let me turn you guys over this way. Let's see, how can we do this? I thought this whole thing pivoted. This thing pivots. There we go. And then turn that up. Tighten that. And the only bad thing is, now I can't see what you guys can see. Let me zoom out so we have as much coverage now I can see. As long as I stay within... Okay, I think I got it, guys. Hopefully. Okay, this is the part I'm not supposed to be doing. Nobody let my doctor see this shit, okay? Because I'm not allowed to do this right now. I could really ruin my neck surgery. Don't make fun of me for doing this. It does start a little bit of fuel flow with the impulse. Okay. all my fuel line was empty of fuel. But my carburetor, I don't know how long he's been having issues with this saw, so really hope the carburetor doesn't need rebuilt. Okay, here we go. I hate pulling cord. I'm not ready, you guys. Yeah. I didn't hear it hit. First off, and second off, it should have hit by now. It still doesn't sound like it's getting any fuel yet. I'm going to open up the low jet a little bit more. And we'll try a couple more pulls here. Whoops. Uh-oh. What now? I can't see. Yeah, my choke flipped on. My chute's closed. So that's not the issue. Nope. I mean, sometimes these things do hit on the first pull. I tell people, I flood these 028s more than any other saw. Because you miss that faint pop. But I'm not going to keep pulling. It hurts way too bad. It hurts really bad. So let's see if we can find the issue by seeing if we have fuel on our spark plug or not. And I hate pulling boots, man. Damn. Don't do this. Don't do it. Don't do it. I advise against it. Barely any fuel. No, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, there's a little bit there. Well, hell, maybe he didn't have to open them jets up that far on this carb. It must be a Tillotson. I thought he had a Wilbur roll in this bitch. So I'll open them up way more. Okay, and I'll try one more time. Starting this saw. We know it's definitely not flooded. So, at least I know it's not that. And we got a brand new impulse. OEM. I did check it for malfunction before I installed it. By doing a vacuum pressure test on it. Make sure it didn't have no leaks. Okay, so let's try this again, neighbors. If it doesn't start this time, well, that's going to be the end of the video. Either way, whether it does or doesn't. Because I don't know immediately what I would look at next. But it would be fuel delivery. And so I'll either do a part 2 for you guys another time, hopefully. If we don't resolve the issue. Or it starts and then we just go bye-bye with a happy ending. Oh, my neck hurts so bad. I don't have a choice. I got bills to pay. I'm so far behind. You know, people say I'm not disabled, but that's why I keep having to have metal put in my body because it's falling apart. That's why I have to work for myself because I might work for an hour and be down for a week. You never know. You folks that are physically disabled, such as is myself, and I'm mentally disabled too, they say, you understand what I mean by sometimes one chore is all it takes to move just slightly the wrong way, and then all of a sudden your back's thrown out because you sneezed, and you're in bed for a week with a thrown out back. You know, it's just, it is the reality of it. And that's why this stuff hurts so bad. It's why I have to figure out what I can do aside from chainsaws, because you have to pull cord. Yeah, it won't start. I'll be goddamned. I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to take the air filter off. I'm gonna shoot some fuel down the Venturi. And sometimes just getting it primed. I really think it might be that tank vent being full of gas, though, to be honest with you guys. I just know that I have likely seal-alled that $12 freaking OEM Stihl tank vent. $12 before tax for this stupid thing. Damn it, you still can't see. This stupid little thing with 2 set screws in it. I make my own now, but you know, I wanted to give Eric all OEM on at least one of his saws, and so that's what I did here. Now, where is my little bit of 2-stroke that I have in my little squirty bottle? Just gonna squirt a little bit down here. Oh, you know what? I'll be damned, look at that. Nope, that's because my switch is still forward, so irrelevant. I don't know, I feel like that should be opened a little more. That butterfly is almost completely closed. We might have an additional issue. Because even with our air filter on, yeah, you know what, neighbors, we might have our slot in our trigger where our throttle lever goes might be worn out. We'll find out, one thing at a time. That could be our issue. It could be our tank vent, but this video is too long for me to keep it one part at this point. So this is the last turn. You guys are going to be crooked and everything. I'm sorry. Do the best I can. But just to show you that we know this all runs. And sometimes that will get things flowing for me. But let's go here. See, the saw does run. It's just not getting fuel. It's just odd because the impulse was the issue. And we put a brand new impulse on, but now I'm looking at it and I'll be damned if the son of a bitch doesn't look wet. And I mean fully wet. Right where it was leaking prior. Well, I don't know, but that for now, that's going to be it, you guys. I'm so sorry. The video is really long. I'm tired. I'm hurting. I promise, I'll try my very best to do a part 2 diagnostics on this, so we can figure out what's wrong with it, and so you can actually hopefully see a problem resolved, and see the symptoms that are happening right now, and be able to follow that with the resolution. So for now, this is part 1 of Eric's Dr. Diagnostics for his Stihl 028 Super that he purchased for me over 2 years ago. And in part 1, we found our impulse hose had a rip in it. But now our saw is not getting fuel still. And we've resolved one of the reasons. Let's hope we can get the rest on video for you as well. So until next time, neighbors, I hope my head's not cut off. I'm just exhausted. I'm sorry doing you dirty with a half-assed closure here. Be kind to one another. Everyone is facing a battle. I love all you neighbors, even though I really freaking suck at it. Sorry the YouTube is still a mess. Sorry that there hasn't been videos forever. Sorry we have 60 playlists. I'm trying to clean things up, organize things, get footage back out to you guys again. Stick with me. Don't give up on me. Because if you guys gave up on me, well, who the hell else is going to root for me and support me? Nobody. So I love you guys. Until next time.